Welcome back, guys, to another episode here of Bird of Rights. You just finished watching the last presidential debate, and you might ask yourself, what's going on? Well, you're not alone. Unfortunately, the last two debates, because the second one didn't happen, so technically it was only two debates. A lot of things have really come to light in terms of the corruption, allegations, the media. I wanted to make this video for a while now, but I've waited because I knew there was going to be a poop storm of news and topics to cover, and I wanted to just cover it in one video. But first off, let's just start off by talking about the last presidential debate. I know it happened a week ago, but let's talk about it now. And we're gonna cite ndtv.com, which I had to go on a third-party search engine, not Google, because it wouldn't give me what I wanted. But basically, the both candidates were asked very simple questions, right? For the first one would be COVID. How are we gonna get out of COVID? And I don't think either one provided a really good answer to explain how we're gonna do it or how they're gonna end it. Here, basically, Trump basically passed his own brush with the virus. He basically had it, and he said he was fine. It was not that a big deal. He had it. Of course, he has unlimited amount of money and doctors and multi-billion-dollar experimental drugs that I'm pretty sure cured him or helped him. And he thinks that he's just gonna go away. We'll see. I don't know. Biden basically said that we just got to keep doing what we're doing, wear masks, and hopefully, a vaccine will come soon. So, fingers crossed. They also asked about the criminal separations at the border. Basically, the illegal aliens that are coming in here and they're being held captive. Their children get separated. There's been allegations of women getting non-voluntary procedures, basically removing reproductive organs, and those are serious. I'm not sure if those are real or not, but evidence stacking up that it is real. But there's that. Trump basically compared himself to Lincoln. He said that there's nothing since Lincoln, there's been nobody better for black people than him, which is awesome. And he also brought up how his Biden's son Hunter had some allegations that he was being corrupt with China and Ukraine. And more on that later, but there was that. Of course, Trump, he has supposedly had a Chinese account, which is gone by now. But who can you believe about this stuff? I'm pretty sure both Biden and Trump take money from somewhere. They're making money somehow outside of our control, outside of our knowledge. They also asked about how we're going to get out of fossil fuels. Now this is where Biden really lost me, because he basically said we're just going to end it. And he's been preaching this for a long time. We're just going to end. We're just going to stop it. We're just going to get rid of it, and it's going to be gone. But how do we do that? How do we do that? It's inconceivable to think that it's just going to happen. We can just transfer and move away from fossil fuels, whether it be coal or nuclear power, things like that, to really power our cities, the power that we need. Solar and wind, it's not the end all be all. Those require wind requires wind, which is not a guarantee, and solar requires sun. Now it's really almost impossible to contain. We can have during the day, yeah, the sun powers all this stuff, but at night, how are we gonna do that at night? That's the problem. And neither of them can really give us the correct answer, a legitimate answer, something that we can look forward to. All they said that we're looking into it. So we'll see where that goes. Trump said he thinks wind causes cancer. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know what that means. But Trump did say that he knew more about wind than Biden did. So, it's extremely expensive, kills all the birds. So wind turbines bad. They also brought up foreign policy. And you know, in this one, you got to give it to Trump. He basically has kept North Korea at bay. He has kept King King Jong Un at bay, and he says, you know, we have a good relationship. We're not at war. Biden bit back with, yeah, well, we were in a war with Hitler back in the day, but we all know how that turned out, and that's a good point. That's a good point, but I don't know if that's a point I want to play with. But those were basically the basic ones that were asked, right? Now, at a later date, unfortunately, it was revealed more that Hunter, Biden's son, was basically they basically found records on a laptop, emails where there was a lot of uh, incriminating Biden, that he was basically part of this conspiracy to get money from other places, basically doing doing fraud in China and doing fraud in Ukraine, and they were he was in it. You know, they referred to him as the big guy, the big guy. So what do we talk? What do we think about this? What's going to happen? Biden's Biden. Trump is Trump. I think they're both sides of the same coin. You know, it's sad to say that nothing really is going to change. Whoever wins, I don't think anything's going to change, honestly. And at this point, you know, make your own mind. Um, make your own mind, because there's so much censorship going on. You know, there's Twitter censoring stuff. When the Hunter stuff came out, there's basically a laptop. There's documents that incriminate him as a pedophile, in short, and he basically was going to trips to China and sleeping with underage girls and et cetera, et cetera. And there's apparently video. I don't want to look at the video, but there's all this stuff going on. And Twitter, Facebook, Google, they basically censor that. They don't want Donald Trump to stay in office, which, whatever, that's neither here nor there. But the problem that I have is that they have literally censored media, news, the news. They've censored news, things that the American people should be able to see, should be able to count on, being non-biased. You know, how many people are on Twitter every day? Millions, billions, I don't know. Facebook, the same thing. Google, how many Google searches happen in a single day? I don't even know. Again, billions probably, right? But it came to light. Zuckerberg was subpoenaed. Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, the CEO of Google, and also the CEO of Twitter. They were all called in, and they were via Skype call or video call, whatever you want to call it. And they were asked very simple questions. They were asked saying, do you have the power to change the narrative of the media that people put on, that you specifically target things that do not go with what you believe or what the company believes or what the company wants people to believe? Do they have the power to influence the elections? They all said no. And again, they didn't say no, like, no, we don't have that. No, they went around this weird runabout way of saying it, because they were basically saying yes, right? They were basically saying yes. They were basically admitting that, by not admitting it, they were admitting that they were doing it. And we reached this pivotal point in the election where what's going to happen? If we don't need Russia or China to infiltrate our elections, we don't need that. Our own companies are doing it. And this is why I tell people, like, don't be loyal to anybody. Make your own decisions. You have to understand that you have to go out there and really research and really make up your own mind about things. Don't let other people influence it. Vote for whoever you want to vote, but vote with your best interest in mind. Don't let the media or all these people say negative things about whoever, right? You have to be able to look past that. You have to be able to just sit down. I sat down and I looked through this and I did alternative research, and I didn't just Google stuff. You have to use other forms of search engines that are not biased. You know, I didn't look to Twitter to get my best information. I didn't look to that. I looked past that. I went deep, and I used VPNs to get out of this country, like, you know, to go to another country and look at their their websites and their stuff they put on there. And you know, you learn a lot. You really learn like when your own country is censoring you, when your own country is only allowing you to see what they want you to see. And by my country, I'm not saying the government. I'm saying media. Unfortunately, Facebook, they literally are 80% of the news that people read on a daily basis now. It's not Fox News, it's not CNN, it's not Univision, Telemundo, it's not them. It's Facebook. And also Facebook has the biggest amount of fake news ever, right? Google doesn't, whatever you search, they only put on the top whatever they want to promote. You know, the first results in the search engine, they put whatever they want. You know, whatever is convenient for them, that's what they'll put. And that's scary, right? Twitter, if somebody puts something on Twitter that's pertinent to what's happening and it doesn't go with their narrative, oh, we're not going to show it, censor it, you know? So make up your own mind, do the research, understand that there's powers at play here. We've been blinded by all this Instagram and all this Facebook and all, you know, we've been blinded by the pretty lights. And we have to look past that. We have to get past that now. Look what's happening. You know, there's riots in Philadelphia because somebody else got shot. I didn't even know about it because I didn't even hear it. Because, you know, I on YouTube, I watch certain things, or even in the news, I look for certain things that I want to learn about. So, and that's a problem with the news, right? You don't, especially when it's targeted to you, when everything is, what do you call it? Like everything, like the algorithm, it learns what you like to watch, what you like to see, what you like to hear about, and whether it be on Facebook or Google or Twitter, and it only feeds you stuff that you want to see, right? And it doesn't really necessarily feed you or show you things that are important around the world. The Hong Kong riots are still going on. Do you hear about them? No. There's massive things happening outside the country. Do you hear about them? No. Right? You don't. It's crazy. So again, look inward for your answer. Don't look outward to all these different media sites. Look inward. What do you feel like you should be doing? If you feel that Biden's gonna come in and just kill our reliance on fossil fuels, vote for him. I personally don't think that's possible, but if he says he can do it and you believe him, vote for him. If you think Trump has the best answers out there, you think he's the savior of the country, vote for him. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But just make sure that you are doing it for your own reasons, not for reasons people tell you. Simple as that. That's all I'm saying, right? It's been tough to make this video. I mean, as you can see, I just glossed over the debate because it was full of BS. It doesn't matter. It didn't have any important information. It was those debates is like watching two little kids at a playground fight or argue. That's what it is. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, and it's sad to see that that's the state of our government. The same thing happens when you see congressional hearings and they act like children. Oh, I didn't get enough time, or he cut me off. You know, and I'm like, really? This is our government. This is at the highest level of power in our society. This is how they act. My God, what's happening? And remember, we elect these people. We have to get out there and vote, whether it be for general elections, for our local elections, for the next president. We have to voice. We have the voice. We have the power to vote. You may not think it's going to change, but trust me, if everybody votes, I think it will make a difference. Everybody, you know, if a million people say, well, I don't think my vote's going to make a difference, that's a million votes. You don't know how that's going to sway the election, right? So don't let that discourage you. Go out there. Do your part. After all, if you're a citizen of this country, you did it for a reason, right? It's giving you a life. It's giving you a purpose here. And it's giving you a lot to lose and a lot to live for. So do the minimum. Go out there and vote. Simple as that. And again, I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not telling you what to think, what to feel, what I said, and what's happening. It's what's happening. It's actually happening. And it's all an effort to blind us, to distract us from the truth, or sway us in one way or the other. But again, you have to look past that. Okay, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but you have to look past that and you have to be understanding and positive about everything that's happening. I think once you do that, things will get better. I see all these. I see a lot of YouTube videos of people making, allow this Twitter person, and oh my God, this person's saying that, and I don't want to make it about a single person. I don't want to make these videos about a single person. I want to make this about us as a whole. What's hurting us? What's impeding us from growing? What's changing us culturally? And we're literally being changed by companies that don't have our best interests. They don't, and we have to be able to see that now. We can't let it get any further. Well, how do we do it? Whatever. Quit Twitter, quit Instagram, quit Facebook. Is it hard? Yes. Is it possible? Of course. Should you do it? It's up to you. I'm not saying, look, I'm not saying don't go on Instagram. I'm not saying don't go on Twitter. I'm not saying don't do Facebook, whatever. What I'm saying is, what you see there, take it with a grain of salt. Don't take that as gospel. Don't take that as that must be the truth because they're telling me. That's not how it works. These companies have huge influence. And if you let them tell you how things are, or how they believe things should be, and you believe them, you're falling prey to the most basic of tactics. So again, don't just go to one place for news. Look at 100 places for news. You deduct who's telling the truth, who's lying. You do it. You do the research, right? That's the only way. I know we're all busy. I know we have important lives. I get that, but this is important, and we should be part of that important decision, right? All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening once again. If you're showing up, this is your Bird of Rights, and as always, it's your right. Goodbye.